Hello, everybody. It's once again time for lightning talks. We have a full roster, so unless we're running super short, we haven't got any space anymore. First up, I would like to welcome Disaster 2 Life, who is speaking about customizing your Linux icons.
Hi there, everyone. Welcome to the talk. I'll be talking about customizing Linux icons today. A very interesting subject I'm sure everybody is very interested in. If I can punch in my password. So, customizing your Linux icons. Let's start quickly with quick thanks to everyone. I'm using Alper's slide templates, thanks to him. And I'd like to thank Lee, Flamesharky, Gitro, Maxtron95, Wokija, and all other contributors to Delta, the Linux icon pack, the Linux version of the icon pack I maintain and manage on a repository. You can look Delta icons up later, and you'll be able to find them. And DebConf for being DebConf. So let's actually talk about customized icons. In a basic machine, we have, not my machine, yes. We have very, look at all this design. None of it's unified, none of it looks nice. We want custom icons, we want to skin everything, we want to make sure that everything looks the same. And that's where icon packs come in. Thankfully, we have the XDG icon specification, or technically it's part of the theming specification to allow theming across all XDG compliant desktops and shells, and that allows us to run install packages which give us uniform looking icons and give us actual uniformity. For example, here many of my icons look the same. Ooh. And now the XDG specification is super simple, and I'll explain it to you in 5 seconds if I can get to it. Basically speaking, the XDG specification looks for a .theme file in 3 specific locations in your local.icon, your /local.icon, and your system's root folder for a theme specification, laying out exactly where everything, every icon can be looked up. And if we look for an example, this theme file dictates where everything will be available. This theme file dictates where everything will be available, and file and app icons are looked up simply by their .desktop file names. So if you want to create a skin for Firefox and want to make everything look like Firefox, you just have to name the file to be the same as the application's name. It's as simple as that, and you can. You can make your own skin with very little time and a lot of artistic interest. Now, the theme I maintain is called Delta, and it's very pastel and very not everybody's taste. But the problem we have with this being super simple and being a basic folder structure is issues like this, where you have to consolidate all apps into a single folder with loads of system link files replicating, because nobody packages everything the same way. For Firefox, there are at least 17 names in there. For Firefox ESR, Firefox, Fire-Fox, Fire Space Fox, blah 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 blah. It's not easy to maintain all of this, because there are a lot of names that you can find stuff under. So that's an issue, because this is a huge folder. This has around, I believe, 3,000 system link files along with multiple SVGs. Technically, the standard supports other options to store images, but SVGs are the best in our modern scenario. And I just want to make sure that the solutions that are in my head and I'm too incompetent to implement can be taken up by somebody else and can be used and worked on by somebody. I hopefully would like to see a larger collected database of how packages are being named and packaged, and a build system that would just look for a unique name within the database and compile to multiple and compile this into multiple link files which are better maintained. That's about it, and I think that's my time. Thank you.
That is. Thank you very much. Next up is Kiran, and he will be talking about a free speech tracker from sflc.in. And, yep, oh, I think that's my timer.
Is it 5 minutes or 7? 5?
Mm-hmm. Yes. There we go.
Hi, I'm Kiran. I work at a non-profit organization called Software Freedom Law Center India. So we work at free speech, open knowledge, and you can see our work from this website. We also have an internet shutdown tracker which track all the internet shutdowns happening in India. Last week we launched another tracker which is called free speech tracker, which track all the censorship happen in India, like book bans, art bans, website and social media. And so I just want to let you know about the website. So if you look at book bans, it have all the details and like on which year, which book banned there, and like on what basis, also on which laws is being used. So this website have these cool graphs and everything, and yeah, because earlier there was no single source in which everybody could get the data from a single and which is not verified. But now, if you go to this website, all the data available here is verified by us, and it's available in CC by SA. So the data can be used by everyone. So yeah, just want to know. So you can go to the website on freespeech.sflc.in. So that's the website. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you, Kiran. That was nice and quick. Next up, David Heidelberg would like us to know that desktop computing is irrelevant. Get up here. Ooh, do that. Ready?
Yeah. Hello, everyone. My name is David. I work on graphical drivers, and my talk is mostly one story, and that started when I was young. So like when I was around 8 years old, I got my computer, and no one in my country had a computer. You know, no one usually used the computer for anything back then. And when I was 15, I got like, you know, first mobile phone, and it was the text mobile phone. It could do nothing. It could do absolutely nothing except calling and receiving messages. When I was 20, I had mobile phone which had operating system. Some of you may know Symbian, you know, Nokia, and you know, you could do some stuff with mobile phone, but no one did back then, you know? It was like, you know, it was cool. You could play Doom 1 on the phone, except it took all the memory of the phone, so like then you couldn't do anything else, like save contacts or something, but who needs that, right? Anyway, so that was like 20. So when I was 25, there was like some touchscreen mobile phones with stylus, but like no one really used them. Like some people use them for Excel, but you still use your computer, right? And as I got older, you know, the phones got better and better, you know, so you could do really work on it. You could do good pictures with it. and you start using it, right? So like these days, you could live with laptop. And when I was about like 28, I met some people in my country and they asked me like, can you set up internet for me? I'm like, yeah, sure, I will help you. But they're like, where is your computer? I don't have any. I just have tablet. I just have phone. I'm like, really? How you can do stuff? But like, they could do stuff, and it was enough for them. So then later I figured out like some countries didn't got computers at all, and most of people started using phones and tablets. And so you think like, okay, but you know, I'm using laptop today. So what's the point? Why the desktop is like not cool today? Well, you can live without using computer today, but you cannot live without using phone. Your bank needs phone, your specific application needs phone. You can run some in emulation, but you need to have a phone. At least, you know, there are some exceptions, but not many of them. So my point of this, I would say talk, maybe story, is think about it a little bit in context. When you do something in your free time, when you package something, when you think about Debian, you know, there is also like Mobian, which is like for the mobile phones. And, you know, it's
2 minutes.
2 minutes. Perfect. So much time. So there is like Mobian, there are mobile distributions, there are distribution for the smartwatches, there are distribution which you can flash to specific watches. And we're getting this way where like Chromebooks are very popular, and Chromebooks are very weak hardware. They are not powerful. They can do much as your laptop, but people are still buying them. And that's the reason, because, you know, Google, Apple, and all the big players offer everything in the cloud. Well, everything on their servers. So it means you can use computer with minimum computing power. It's like more like thin terminal. So think about that. Like if we can like think about computing in 10 years, there will be like very weak laptops, very weak phones or watches, and we end up with having to host servers. Because what also changed over time is speed of the networks. Right now, you can use 5G with 1 gigabit throughput. You have fast internet everywhere. Well, at least, well, everywhere. Not everywhere, but in a lot of areas. So try to think about that, and hope it will help you get better decisions, what to do with your free time if you want to invest into something cool. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Almost perfect timing. Next up is Samuel, who would like to tell us about WCurl. He has.
Mic test. Okay, it's working. Is that the machine? Okay, it should show up in a few seconds. Okay.
Perfect.
So for this presentation, I would like to download a file, and I have the link over here. So simple enough, right? wget. Right. So I do not have wget installed. Should I maybe install it? I do not have the root password. Let's try to download it with curl instead, right? That should work. Malformed URL. I have a white space in it, so I need to decode it, and now it should work. There's the URL is redirecting somewhere else, so I need some parameters for that. Let's check the mem page. That should be location, so dash capital L location. But also, it's not saving as a file, so I need something to find out what is the file name for that. So maybe, I think it's something like remote name, dash O, let's see, the remote name. Where's the entry for that? In the mem page, there we go. Write output to local file, so it gets the file name. All right, so let's try it again. This time, I'm using dash L and dash O, and Okay, now it worked. So that's supposed to be a mem page, and requested URL not found. What happened here? I think, oh yeah, mistyped the URL, so that file doesn't exist. It still downloaded it, even though there's an issue. There is a flag for that, so there's a curl flag that I can use for that as well, which makes the command error out when this happens. But I can forget all of this, and instead I can just copy the, let me try to copy this properly. There's the original link, and I can use wcurl, and then let's check wcurl.1. Oh, I need a / over here, and it's there. So wcurl is a simple wrapper around curl. Thank you. It is a very simple thing. It's just this shell script that we are shipping on the curl package on Debian, and it allows you to use curl to download files without having to remember any parameters, right? So it has a few nice features that are listed here, so you can get parallel downloads by default, a few other things like retries, and we have some examples here at the bottom of the man page. Yeah, it's just wcurl URL, and then if you give 2 URLs, you download 2 different things. So this is available on Debian Unstable and testing, and I have nothing against wget. I do like wget. In any case, if you're not running Unstable or testing, you can still download wcurl by using wget, and then you download the script into your machine. Thank you.
Thank you, Samuel. Next up is Simon Richter, who is going to tell us about dpackage alias handling. Just a moment. Also, check out the Amiga t-shirt.
This thing does not have a mode. It work? Ah, it's okay. So basically, what I'm doing is slightly different from what the project is doing. So this is slightly controversial, of course.
Hold the mic a little.
Yeah. So what I'm doing is slightly controversial because the rest of the project is doing something different. So what we have been in the user merge transition for like 10 years now, and we should probably finish it at some point, and possibly also before Fedora imposes the next big transition on us, which is going to be merging SBIN and bin. So what is the actual problem? Why is it taking so long? The problem is dpackage builds a in-memory database of known file paths. That's a big hash map. All of this happens in a hot code path, because that is how you check all the file conflicts and diversions and stat overrides, and everything that dpackage does is handled in one single database lookup in an in-memory database. No system call, no overhead, no nothing. That's the only reason why dpackage is that fast. The thing is, it does not know about symlinks like the symlinks introduced by user merge. So now we have 2 different paths for the same file, and that has some very annoying effects. For example, if you ask the shell, where is the ls command? It says user bin. Then you ask dpackage, in which package is this? Dpackage doesn't know. If you ask bin ls, like the old gray-bearded guy you are, where you know that ls is in /bin, then dpackage will happily tell you where it is. So that also applies to shared libraries. So dpackage shared libdeps cannot find libraries if it's looking for them. Dpackage will also happily unpack user bin ls, then delete bin ls, because that's a different path. So and dpackage divert will also only work if you use the same path. Dpackage set override will only work if you use the same path, and so on. Lots of annoying things. We have a workaround for the first one. We have a workaround for the second one, but it's incomplete. This is broken. This is broken. This is why the transition is still ongoing. So what I'm doing is I'm ignoring the transition as it is, and I'm patching dpackage to teach it about symlinks and path aliasing. So what I'm creating is a new tool called dpackage alias, where you can register all of these symlinks that will update the internal database. So the internal database and the reality will actually match again. This one is also responsible for moving files. And yeah, with the list of symlinks that should exist, I can create database entries for all paths that that any known file may be reached under. So if we have a conflict, then we can find it. That is still all in memory. Overhead is minimal, although building the database is a bit slower if it's already cached, but it's almost not noticeable. Yeah, we link all the files that refer to everything. We can detect with no extra overhead file conflicts, diversions, stat overheads that refer to a different path.
1 minute.
Yeah, what is already working is we can detect and report file conflicts. We can detect conflicts when symlinks are registered. We can represent an invalid state if somebody moves files outside of the package. And a lot of things still need to be done. For example, we need a method for resolving that invalid state. All of the code needs to be rewritten because it is heavily work in progress code. I need to actually implement moving the files. And I also need to define diversion and stat override behavior, and how derived distributions, for example, Dev1 does not actually want to do user merge. How can we do a cross-grade to Dev1 and back? Yeah, and the most important thing is we need tests, and this is where you come in. We need more tests, and if anyone wants to help writing tests, please contact me. Thank you.
Thank you, Simon. Next up is Joenio, who would like to rally up a few more people to do more art and music at DebConf next year. Sorry, I think I just gave the talk there.
Okay. Okay. This light talking is invitation for you and others who are seeing us to join me and to join others who are already creating this effort to bring some art into DebConf. Then I wrote here a draft of a proposal. That's something that I think could fit in the next DebConf that will be held in France. And then a little bit of history, why I created this proposal, because since 2000, I think 2022, I started to try to bring it inside the DebConf. It's working. It works, thanks to the local team that every time do a lot of effort to create the infrastructure to hold art performances inside the DebConf. But until now, I think we have opportunity to put it more inside the official schedule of the DebConf. Then the idea I have is to create a space inside the DebConf and inside the DebCamp days to create art together, including video art, video mapping, performances, choreography, poetry, sound art, experimental music, analog synths, digital synths, software synthesizers, and etc. Then if you like the idea, if you would like to know more, if you would like to share something that you would like to modify this proposal, to create something different, please send me a message. Here is my email, join@debian.org. Or also, if you have time tomorrow, please come and join us during the DebConf 25 both, where I will also bring this proposal to start talking with the local team that we organize the next DebConf. And that's all. Yes, I think I finished before my time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Joania. I'm very much in favor of art and music. So next up is Carl, who is going to inform us about a mystery subject. Are you filled with anticipation yet?
Check, 1, 2. Hey, look at that. Good job, AV folk. Where'd the laptop go? There's supposed to be a laptop here.
Oh.
Wasn't there a laptop here before?
There was, but
It went.
Now
okay,
there is.
My laptop. Was there an HDMI cable? I'm a pro at this. Ooh, look at that. Let's see, what is on my screen? Me telling Tumbleweed I have a phone. Is this counting against my time? This is a complete disaster. All right, I have at least 3 things to talk about. So let's see what we can get through here. First off, tinytapeout.com. If you have any interest in electronics, you know about this. Oh, look. You don't need to see it. You just need to hear the words tinytapeout.com many times. Anyway, you can grind... You can grind through an open source tool chain and kind of... Hang on, how do I move my windows around? Where'd the laptop go that's supposed to be up here? Move. We move? Yeah, hey, we're moving again. All right, so stay. tinytapeout.com. You grind through some open source tools and design a silicon chip, an IC chip, a real legit, like, sends off to a fab, you get a chip. You might have to pay a few $100s to get a few hundred chips. There's a bunch of funding behind this. There's a bunch of crowdsourcing things. It's super cool. Enough on that. On to the next thing, which is over here now. FAMU. FPGAs that fit in your USB port. I think that one. Yes. I have some. Here's all the docs about it. Super cool stuff. Next thing. FPGAs as a service. This thing I built, pronounced Picea. There's a getting started thing, and the one thing we're going to look at under here real quick is it's how to make the lights blink. Everybody likes to make the lights blink. What's available? You can skip this, but we were going to, for this thing, going to jam in here, and hopefully this link works that I just added in. This board is sitting out in Chicago on a data center. There's actually like 9 or 10 of them bundled up with a Raspberry Pi and a camera. You can access said board through my nifty web interface here, where either we use the WSSH web client to connect the browser into a shell. There we go. There's a Pi running Raspberry, and you can do stuff on the Pi that is connected to the thing out there. Also, at the top of this was the overlay root stuff, which this thing I think is super cool. Apt install overlay root, enable it, and all of a sudden you have a RAM disk on top of your root file system. All updates go to RAM. Nothing hits the root file system, so RMDEF, RF, anything you want, reboot the machine, everything comes back. which means as a FPGA developer, you can apt install or whatever you need here. You've got root privileges. That's great. Now let's get out of this and go back to a more, where's my mouse? Oh, it's over here. Hello, mouse. How am I doing on time, Nattie? So we're going to cut, and we're going to paste it into a shell. Oh boy, here, where's the shell's over here, of course. We'll move the shell somewhere else. We can see, hello, shell. Paste, yep. And paste. There we go. Same thing, we're SSHing into the Pi. There's some, I've preloaded a few test things here. Whoops, I'm ahead of myself. There is I mentioned the camera. So we're going to fire up, whoops, this camera. This is a minute and a half. Mm-hmm. Perfect. Here is a live feed of that Arty board. It's kind of dark, but all that really matters is there's some LEDs off there glowing like, HAL. And if we go over here to the tests, CD, I don't know, tests, yep, good. Counter test, sounds good. Run this little script where I have a few commands to do some things. T1 maybe, T2, yeah, sure, fine. Reset the Arty just to make sure there's nothing left over from previous tests. Control Q out of this. Load a bit stream that's been compiled and shoved onto the Pi, waiting for us to run some tests. And it connected back, and we can see that there isn't a menu, so something must have happened. And there's a timestamp around here somewhere, 9:31:43. There's like a good 40-second lag between when you load something and when you see it on the video. So good. We'll burn up our half minute here watching nothing on the video here other than time ticking by. What did I say the time was? 9:43? Yeah. So.
Something like that.
Where's the laptop? Did somebody steal the laptop again? I think I see it over there. Oh, well. We were supposed to have a laptop up here for all the lightning talks. Oh, man.
Time's up.
12 seconds or so takes forever on a lightning talk.
Time's up. Talk really fast.
Well, yes. Are the lights blinking? Yeah, I'm with you on that. Oh, the laptops are over here.
I mean, it's
I'm
green.
sorry. There's the lights. Those weren't blinking earlier. And that little URL up there, ps1.fpjs.mythos.com. You can go there right now, play around with this, have a blast, RMF or F where you want. Good day.
Thank you. We are actually still kind of running early, so before we have the last speaker, is anyone feeling inspired? We can slide like one person in. Anybody? I guess it's Dima. Dima, in a test of his skill and judgment, well, mostly skill, will be attempting to compress a 1-hour talk into 5 minutes. It is data processing and visualization in the shell. He'll be available in the seating area outside for questions afterward. I'm just going to talk. I'm just going to stand here and talk while they set up. Can I remind you, please, that it's very hot outside. Please keep hydrated. Please keep your electrolytes up. Also, if you're feeling in any way off, please come to front desk and pick up a COVID test. Masks are also available. And I'm just going to keep talking. How close to ready are you?
Close? Let's find out.
Let's find out. Hey!
All right, cool. Big. Okay, so I am going to talk about two tools that I use all the time for everything. So vgnu plot and vnlog. I am upstream for these, and they're in Debian. I'm the maintainer, obviously. Okay, so these process and visualize data directly in the shell, and they're very powerful and flexible, and you can do quite a bit without resorting to NumPy or whatever, and it's actually pretty cool. Okay.
Hold the mic up a little closer.
Okay, sorry. Right, so usually this is a much longer talk, but I'll just go over the very high-level points and do some demos, and if anyone wants to know more later, you can talk to me. All right, so if you have any application that spits out data on standard out, like say like that, you can plot it, you can feed it directly into the tool and get a plot. So this is not super interesting. We didn't ask for anything specific, but we got data out of it. You can request particular styles. So here we have ask for lines and points, and there we go. If you want fancier styles, you can, oh man, so something's cut off, but whatever. So you can give it duplet strength. So here I'm asking for lines and points with a particular point type and point size, and you can see that actually works directly. Okay, so that is the kind of absolute bare minimum. So let's do something that is a little bit more interesting. So this computer has a temperature sensor, like most of them do. So we can write a little script where we have an infinite loop that reads this device, writes it out, does that at 1 hertz. We save this telemetry to log file, and then we make a real-time plot. So here I'm saying dash the stream, so that says, let's do this in real time and actually have an update. So nothing interesting is happening because the machine is just sitting here. But if I tell one of my cores to go into an infinite loop, if we wait a second, we're going to see that this actually starts to heat up. And if I...
Should I hold that for a second?
I think that's fine. So you can actually see that it's working. My computer is heating up, so we barely did any work, and we already actually got something pretty interesting. And you can imagine this is infinitely applicable. So for example, you might, hold on. You might want to SSH to some server and get, logs for Apache or something and get telemetry just in real time, but doing no work at all using these tools, which is pretty cool. Okay, next. So I saved the log file. So what I can actually do is I can read the same log file we just made and reprocess it using the same exact script. So this is not real time. I'm reading log data, but you get the same plot out. So you can do post-processing, and it works. Oh my God, it works the way you would expect. So, so if you do this sort of thing, then you realize that you really do need better data format. So this data format where you just have numbers is not good, because you really need comments. You really need labels on the columns. Otherwise, you really cannot do stuff. So the other set of tools called vmlog formalize the data format, which has comments, and the first comment is a legend that identifies the columns, and you can simply prepend the legend like this. So this is a valid vmlog file. I can do a lot of things. For example, I can feed it back to the plotter, and here, oh God. Okay, just take my word for it. This data set is labeled. So here it read the name of what this is from the data point from the log file, and this is labeled as a temperature. So there are a bunch more tools that work on this. So for example, you can line things up for human consumption. You can you can evaluate arbitrary expressions. So here is the first 10 seconds. You can only ask for particular columns, like so. If I want, I can ask for Fahrenheit if I think that's better for whatever reason. So you can evaluate arbitrary expressions, which is pretty awesome. And you can, if you want to do more complicated things, like here, if I want to compute the maximum temperature, I can simply write a little awk script to just go through every record and print out the highest one over there. And you can also do this with other tools. For example, you can use VNL sort, which is a wrapper around the normal sort tool. It works exactly the way you would expect. So you do not need to learn how this works. You know exactly what that means. So you sort it out, take the biggest one, print it out. You see how to get the same result. And since this is very vanilla, like 90% of it, since this is very vanilla, you can actually use tools that don't know about this format to do the same things. So I can compute the maximum with data mesh, so same number, and I can use something like Ministat, and I get a nice little kind of text histogram. So I'm going to stop here. These are really powerful. They do a million more things that just scratch the surface. If you want to see more stuff, come talk to me. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Before you all run off after Dima for questions, I'd like to just thank you all for coming to Lightning Talks. I'm aware of at least 3 or 4 other mini DebConfs happening between now and the next one, but which will hopefully also have lightning talks. But I guess we'll see you next year in Brest.